Hello, my name is Abigail Walia, and today I'm doing the quiz on reproductive system. My first question on the quiz is comparing and contrasting the spermatogenesis and the oogenesis. So the spermatogenesis is it occurs, or it happens in the male reproductive system in the testes, whilst the oogenesis happens in the ovaries of the female reproductive system. And then also the spermatogenesis begins at puberty, whilst the oogenesis begins at fetal period, just before birth. And then the spermatogenesis, it continues throughout life. It has no end, whilst the oogenesis has an end. It stops at menopause. And then the timing for spermatogenesis is it's a continuous process, while for the oogenesis is a monthly cycle. And then the spermatogenesis produces like small motile sperm, while the oogenesis produces the large nutrient filled egg. So those are the contrasts, and the comparisons or similarities is that they all produce they all go through the meiosis process. Then my second question is talking about describing the male reproductive system, the drawing, and then describing it. So this is the male reproductive system. So we have the tests, which the balls inside the round ball here. So the tests, they produce sperm, and they also produce the hormone called testosterone, the testosterone. And then we have the on top here of the test, we have the epididymis, which is storage for the sperm and maturation and storage of sperm, the epididymis. And then we have the vas deferens. This transports the sperm. The vas deferens transports the sperm. And then we have the seminovesicles. The seminovesicles, these they add the fructose and the rich seminal fluid. And then we have the scrotum. This is the sac-like cavity which is around the tests. It holds the tests inside and provides the required temperatures. And then we have the prostate, which is beneath the bladder. The prostate glands adds like alkaline fluid to the motility. And then we have the urethra, which carries the semen out through the penis. The urethra, it carries the semen through the penis. And then we have the penis, which is the organ copulation. The penis, which is the organ copulation. And then we have I think that's so that we have for the male reproductive system. Thank you. And then the third question also talks about describing the female reproductive system. So this is the female reproductive system. On the female reproductive system, we have the ovaries, these here, the ovaries, the oocytes, which is the egg, and the ovaries, produces the oocyte, which is the egg here. And then we have the fimbriae, which sweeps the oocyte or the egg into the fallopian tube. And then we have what else we have? We have the fallopian tube here, which is the site for fertilization. And then we have the uterus, which houses and nourishes the embryo or the fetus. And then we have the cervix here, which is the entry to the uterus and also produces the cervical mucus. And then we have the vagina, which is the passageway for the intercourse and childbirth. And then this is the vagina. And then we have the lambium minora and the lambium majora, which are the external genitalia, also the clitoris. They are the external genitalia, the vulva. Yes, so this is all what we have with the female reproductive system. And then the fourth question, I think, was to describe the factors that bring change during menstrual cycle and what leads to menopause. So the factors, the endometrial wall, which the endometrial will thicken greatly within the uterus. And then we have the ovarian changes. These like the estrogen, when it will peak around the 14th and the 15th day. When it changes, the endometrial wall changes greatly, and it thickens the uterus. And then we have the ovarian follicle, maturing of follicle of the egg. And then we have we also have the pituitary hormones, which includes the LH and the LSH. I think those are the ones. And then what leads to menopause? What leads to menopause is when the menstrual period stops. You stop having the menstrual periods for 12 months. And then also when the estrogen and the progesterone levels drops permanently. Also when the ovaries lose follicles, it will lead to menopause. And then the fifth question was talking about the types, the 4 types of contraceptives and their effectiveness for preventing the STI. So we have the 4 types. We have the rhythmic and the withdrawal method, although it's not very effective methods of contraceptive, and it cannot also prevent the STI infection. It cannot prevent. And then so the main ones that are effective, they may be effective or they are effective. It's the mechanical barriers, which is the female or male condoms. For the mechanical barriers, I think it is effective, and it is also effective to prevent I think the STIs. And then the combined hormone contraceptives. We have combined hormone contraceptive, which is the IDU, and then no, the combined hormonal methods. Sorry, it's the birth control pills, the patch, the ring, the shot that people take. Those, they just prevent the ovulation and thicken the cervical mucus, but they cannot stop the STI. They cannot. And then we have the IUDs device, the IUDs device, which is we have copper IUD, we have hormonal, yeah, and then these ones are good contraceptives, but they cannot prevent the STI. And then we have the sterilization. The sterilization, it's like permanently blocking the garment transport. You permanently cut or close or block, and this does not prevent the STIs. It does not. And then the last question, what I found interesting, I think what I found interesting in the reproductive system is that the placenta is the only temporary organ the human body grows, and also that male produce about 40 million sperm cell in a single ejaculation. Yeah, so those are some of the interesting things that I found. Thank you.